Hello everyone, I'm just going to show you the new Android screen that I have installed in the BMW F10. I have seen many videos that people have uploaded on about the Android screen, but the thing is that flicking through the icons left and right, showing a screen, that's not really using the actual device. In reality, it's quite different. I know it looks colourful and nice, but let me go through quickly a few things that may interest you and see if it's worth the investment, if you feel that it's worth the investment in installing this device. The installation is very easy, no doubt about that. So as soon as you pull that screen out, the other one, the wires and everything, the harness is all quite straightforward. You just need to be a bit more technical because there is no manual in the box. So when we receive this, it arrived with no manual, so we have to just figure it out ourselves how it all fits in. So it wasn't that difficult, to be honest, but yeah, it does get a bit clunky when you've got, you know, the extra harness from the screen and then the box and everything else, which is the connectors. You have to shuffle it back in, but at the end, once it's all in, it's fine. It uses its own GPS, but then they say that you can use a Y cable for the GPS, so you can actually share the same GPS antenna with the car. But in my case, we didn't have the Y cable because obviously it wasn't in the box, so I had to order it afterwards. But we installed one here, which is just added up there in the corner, so we just wanted to sort of try it out and see how that looks and works. So that's all fine, it works. So let me just get started on. So here we go, we start the car, the screen will come on, and here it is. Now this is the original screen from my BMW, and that's part of the you know, this is the installation that you can default back to the BMW screen. Now that you can see, I can click on it and nothing would happen. Alright, so, and there's no sign of what's going on, but I can use my iDrive controller for this, and it works, but at the moment nothing would happen because Android is actually booting up right now, and I have set this to actually use the BMW screen when it starts up, because the BMW screen is the quickest to start up. The Android one takes you know, at least about 60 seconds or slightly less to boot up. Once it's booting up, you can see in the background that you can start the app. But now hopefully once it's booted up in the background, you can touch it and it'll go back to Android like it did right now. So now it's started up. So this is the screen when you install the Android version screen. It'll come up like this pretty much. So you'll see, and a lot of videos people see like they're doing this, you know, scrolling. Oh yeah, that's it. Looks very nice. No, the reality is, it's not. It's yeah. I mean, Bluetooth is another challenge itself. So once you pair your phone, somebody calls you, and you're using a sat nav somewhere while you're driving, everything locks out. So you can't actually go back to your sat nav while you're on the call, like you would do in a BMW interface. It's very different. It's not even worth actually pairing Bluetooth with this particular device. All I can say, it looks nice. Music, yeah, you have to have MP3s in this to actually have it working, otherwise it would not work. So once you have MP3, then it works. Navigation, you would then again you need to have 3G or 4G or your phone or Wi-Fi or something connected to it for it to work. Like in any other navigation system you would use in your car, you would have a DVD or a memory card with maps on it or whatnot, like a TomTom or Garmin or whatever. You don't need an additional satellite, you don't need an additional phone to give you navigation information, because it's all a GPS will give you the positioning, and the map would give you the data where you want to go, and that's it. But this thing is just got a mind of its own. It's just a bit different, to be honest, and it's not easy to get used to, and it's not very convenient to use. File Manager, you can go in File Manager, and pretty much all the data that you've got on your system will come up on here. So if you're an Android person, you'd probably know what that means, and it will tell you how to install stuff and everything else, but nothing that you would use while you're driving or in your car. It's just there to install apps and give you further information. Car info, will take you back to the BMW screen, which is, and it just goes to this screen every time you start it up, and then pretty much I'm back here. So if you go sat nav, see, the sat nav on my BMW is is far quicker than the Android one. Now if you want to go back, you just tap it and it goes back to your screen again. Browser will take you to Google if you've got, once again, Wi-Fi or WhatsApp running. I've got no internet, so it's not going to come up. And the other thing is that you can't actually see that arrow in the corner, so it's all white. So if you want to go back, you have to click on this box here, and then you click on there. As you can see, it's a bit of a hit and miss in certain ways, because when you open a browser, all your top icons absolutely blend into the white screen. You don't even know where they are. You can't even see them. So, we know where they are, but in reality the software should allow you to change color and become black like these are, but they still stay white. So here I am. Right, okay, here we go. Next, what do we have next on the list? Okay, the second section is videos. Now, you could try watching something on the videos, but once again, yes, it looks nice, it's part of the package, great. So, and then we've got DVR. I haven't got installed any cameras at the moment. I have purchased one, and I'll show you the video once I do install that on in the car, so you can see the video for that. Settings, that's good to know. So it's showing the time. I've noticed that when you put it on 24 hours or auto sync GPS, your time changes to something completely crazy. It just sets its own time. It does not state the current time in your country. I don't know why. So set it to original time and it works. You have to set the time up. Camera settings, video settings is useful if you've got a backup camera, which I do. So you can click on that and it shows the backup camera installed. And this is the third-party camera. This is not the BMW one. So that's been added on extra. So that's part of that. Settings, just like it's like pretty much like a phone, to be honest. You've got all your Wi-Fi settings in there. System info, that's the most important part, because you can go into factory setup here, and it should come up with the pin code, which is, I think the common one is 1314, which I've seen, and then click OK, and it takes you into a menu. This is the most important part of this whole system, that you need to understand that the settings from here relate to everything in your car. Like it's got the DVR is off at the moment. It's got the Bluetooth, which is on. I haven't really tampered with those at all. It's all been set by default. A lot of it. You need to Audi. Then it talks about. The interfaces are different here. So when it says mode, that means you see those boxes come up in the beginning. When I select them, they're all from here. So depending on what you have, depending on what kind of interface you like to see, that interface changes from here. So at the moment I like the Evo one. You can change to Evo ID6 and it will change the way it shows and displays the icon. It says whether to turn on FM launch, show camera open, back car send, go to DVD set, with movement disc function, MP3 takeover function. This is to do with, from what I understand, is to do with the DVD when you're driving. So it'll actually give you information. And the boot logo, you can change that when the car starts. Update list, I haven't got anything at all to update. Car type, yeah, we had a bit of issue with that. This is very important, because when you install it, you might see your screen going a bit funny, half display coming up, half of it is disappearing. So you got to tinker with all of this and see which ones you relate to your car. Mine comes up with this particular version and it works for that, so I didn't really go any further than that. APK, additional application you want to install for Android, but as it stands, out of the box, it works. Just to let you know, you can see the info, which is the Android 7.1 version here. And if we go back to our app screen, dashboard. This is quite interesting. A lot of people show it to you, makes it look like, wow, this is like, you know, the best part of the system. Well, guess what? You can't do anything with it. It's stuck on your system. You can't change the settings. It's showing in your petrol and everything else, and the dashboard. But in reality, you know, I don't really have a kilometers. This is in kilometers it's showing. I have miles here. I can't change these or update them at the moment. And then, you know, I'd love to know where I can find a link to update this whole UI, because this is like, it works, no doubt about that. It works, but it just looks a bit like, you know, I mean, if I open a door, you can see the door is open. But then again, the BMW here would show me the same thing as well. So it's not something it's telling me that I've never seen before. Yeah, alright, it looks good. Phone link, here's another one. This is another toy. This thing is pairing with your phone while you are, you know, mirroring. Yeah, that works, but guess what? It doesn't. It kind of hops off, comes out, it disconnects, takes ages to connect. Bit of a gimmick again. It doesn't work properly on this app. It just looks nice. So people can get quite, you know, carried away by looking at this, thinking that, wow. Now, this is the part where all the apps come in. This is like, everything is set in place. You can't really change anything here as well, unless you want to install some new apps. Yeah, it looks nice. You could probably have 3G or 4G running on your iPhone and connect this device to it. But as it stands on its own, it doesn't do anything. All the icons will be just, you know, stationary. Now, DVD, the thing is that no signal. Now, my question is that I've got a DVD player in my car here, and when I put something like a disc in this, like here it comes, here a disc in there, right? So if we put a disc in there, and I want to play it, where am I going to play this disc? From this interface. Let me see. Is it going to play? Right, it plays, but there's nothing coming up on the display. So whatever I can see, that's all playing from the BMW interface. Yeah, right. So that's playing, but there isn't a display that's telling me what I am going to be. No, that's not it. DVD, obviously that's not showing me anything. What else do we have? We've got Power Amp. These are the additional apps I've installed. Auxiliary, no signal. This is again the same thing that is in the front interface. Comes back up again. Video, that's going to show the other video again. See, so that's the sound has gone on that. I have to change that over. In car, that was meant to be like CarPlay, but this is some app that they've made. Looks a bit naff. Then you've got I downloaded this speedometer that's quite nice, so you can see that once it loads. There we go. That is quite nice. It shows when it drives. You know, it just gives a nice bit of a look to the car. Nothing that I haven't seen before, but it's one of those things that just. You got Waze again, but that again needs data. Effectively, this entire interface needs data constantly to drive it, otherwise it won't work. I tried to download offline maps. Let's see if something comes up. I guess it's slow. But when you set a route, it doesn't. It needs data when it tries to set the route up. I have tried that as well. But all in all, as I was showing you, it's nice interface. It looks nice. You know, you can. But the main thing to remember is that while you're driving, you don't have time to take your eyes off the road and do all of this. You need quick, easy, fast access, which is the reason why Apple made CarPlay. That you can have straight icons, you can get straight to the interface and start using it. Now if I press my nav button on here, which is here, press navigation, look what happens there. It opens Google. And guess what Google wants? It wants data. Well, I don't have data at the moment, nor I want to give it, because there's no guarantee when you're driving that you're going to have data everywhere on the street, on you know, every 500 yards. It's just you have data, and data stops sometimes, so you lose that information. So that's why it's always good to have maps in the car. Now I can press whatever I want in here, nothing's going to happen. But now, okay, so pressed radio, and this has popped up. So, and then here we have the, you know, the normal BMW. But the screen is nice and bright, it's vibrant, it's different, it's, you know, it kind of gives an additional, you know, features that you probably want to see or want to play around with. But apart from that, I can't see this being, you know, too useful personally, but it just looks nice. That's all it is. I still use the same old system apart from the reversing camera, which is something that I enjoy using. That's the part which I installed the camera. The camera was additional. There is a USB port that I've stuck out just for testing at the moment. But I have bought the connector that I'm going to install somewhere inside the glove box or inside the middle console that would allow me to use a USB key to upload any data or anything of that nature. But apart from that, I hope you enjoyed watching this. Any questions, feel free to ask. There is a lot of work that I'll be doing in this car, and I will be posting that as well for you to listen and learn, and then hopefully not make the same mistakes that I probably would make. A lot of work goes through when we install devices on these vehicles, and we have to do a lot of homework before we install them to make sure that, you know, we don't change anything that we shouldn't. So yeah, it's good. It works, that's the main thing, and we'll see what's next. I've got another project coming up, which we're going to be installing a Harman Kardon system in an F10, and that's going to be the default Harman Kardon system, which usually is part of the F10 if you were to buy one and pay extra money, which includes the Harman Kardon amp and all the harness and you know, everything else, speakers, 16 speakers and everything. So all of that is a different project, and I'm going to be, you know, publishing that. Hopefully that would be published while doing it, not when it's done like this I've done here, because this was done actually in the night time, so I didn't have time to actually make a video. So I thought I might just go through this for all the people that are, you know, curious to find out why and how this works. They've made the same screen available for different models. It's pretty much the same thing, to be honest. It's just different frames that fits in different cars, but actually the reality is the software running behind it is pretty much the same. It's all 7.1. CarPlay doesn't quite work on this. There are dongles that you can install and convert this into a CarPlay screen. I've tried that, it didn't work. I'm still at the moment in talks with China trying to figure out why it's not working. I mean, I'm not going to be wasting more money on buying dongles over and over again, but let's see where we go with that. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll catch up soon again. Thank you.